I think everybody's so focused on being fearless and not having any fears at all. The fact of the matter is, you're going to be nervous when you're doing some of the things that you want to do because you don't know what's going to happen. Therefore, it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have fear. Woo! Welcome, one, welcome all. This is your space for everything empowerment. I'm your host, Tariq Williams. You're the listener here listening or watching on YouTube. And we're going to make this happen. This is your space for everything empowerment. You know what we do here. You know we're about to get into it. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, share. You know what we're doing here. And as the listener, you're going to share the good word. You're going to share the positivity. You're going to share the reality of the Speaker Vision podcast. And that's not just our reality. That's your reality. That's not just my reality. It's the world's reality because here's the thing. Someone said to me, Tariq, I just love your positivity. We've talked about this on the podcast already. If you want to call it positivity, that's fine. However, it's my reality. Let's get it. So, what we're talking about in today's episode is stepping into your power, how I overcame the fear of public speaking. And I actually haven't really ever talked about this story ever. And you all are going to learn a little bit more about me today. So here we go. But first, as we all learn about stepping into your power, we're going to talk about some of the fears, some of the things, some of the issues why people don't step into it. And then we're going to a little bit off the cuff here, right? Why people don't step into their power, some things that people say, some things that I felt. And then I'm going to go into a little bit of the changes that are happening with me learning about speaking and what that has looked like, but ultimately how I overcame the fear of public speaking and sharing that story with you all. All right, here we go. So, here's the situation. Stepping into your power, okay? We're defining power as ultimately your abilities, right? But understand this, your abilities are your abilities. You can choose to make the progress and have that ability, but you got to really step into it, right? You actually got to commit. We talked about manifestation. What's manifestation? Raise your hand in the class. You're absolutely right. When we talk about manifestation, people talk about manifestation as, talking about it, the affirmations. However, it's not just talking about it, it's being about it. It's actually making the action. It's actually choosing. It is, drum roll, please, a commitment. You know what we're about here. Manifestation is a commitment, right? So being committed to your goal, to the dream, manifestation, right? Things in life, things just don't just happen. There's work, there's progress that needs to be made. Therefore, if you're going to step into your power, you have to recognize that. So that's number one. You have to actually step into it. But why, once again, do people not step into it? Well, quite frankly, they don't think they have any power. They don't believe they have any power. It's a fact. Why you're not stepping into your power? Because you don't believe that it's there. That's a problem. And I think you change that by trying to find people who you surround yourself with that recognize your ability, that recognize your power. And if you're surrounding yourself with people who are putting you down, sorry, get out of my face. Not here. All right. For those watching, for those listening, I put my hand to the screen. Get out of here. We don't accept that, right? So you don't believe you have any power. Other things that are coming to mind is that being afraid to fail, that discomfort piece, being afraid to fail, discomfort, not knowing what's going to happen, the unknown. But the fact of the matter is, the unknown. Well, we know what's happening on this side already. We know what's happening when we don't do the thing. Because you know how we know? You know how we know what's happening on this side already? Because you're currently not doing the thing. You're currently not doing the thing. Therefore, you're in your room, chilling, not doing anything, watching TV, uninspired, around just in a space that's not serving you. Okay. So once again, stepping into the power is truly, once again, being committed to that, being able to actually recognize that you have that power. You have to recognize it, right? And to be clear, it may be some fake it till you make it in some of these different situations, right? Because you don't really know what's going to happen, but you know, we already know what's happening on this side, like I said. So, what if you put in the work? What if the thing you thought you might be good at, you actually did? What if the thing you're actually good at, what if you practiced it a little bit more? How about that? See, I would never tell you all that I was a speaker when I was young. I would never tell you all that. Because, and when I say young, I'm talking about fourth grade ish. All right. I kind of just did things just to do them in a sense. I wanted to try new things. I thought they were cool. I think when I reflect on this a little bit, maybe I enjoyed expressing myself and trying to find ways to do that. But for some reason, there was always a fear attached. Um, but that's life. You're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be scared. I think everybody's so focused on being fearless and not having any fears at all. The fact of the matter is, you're gonna be nervous when you're doing some of the things that you want to do because you don't know what's gonna happen. Therefore, it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have fear. For anyone that tells you that it's not, tell them to stop. What are you talking about here? You can have it. You can have fear. You can have some scared. You can have some nerves. You can have some hesitations. However, comma, how are you reacting to it? Are you letting it take over you? Are you letting it not let you step into your power? If your fears are not letting you step into your power, that's a problem. If your fears are something that you're addressing, that's there, it's a thing, okay, cool. I'm moving on. We're still moving right through it. Okay. That's what we need here. All right. I'm getting a little bit animated here, a little bit excited because once again, I told you I have some stories for you all about, once again, how I overcame my fear of public speaking and became a speaker. Now, the first part of this conversation is, as you all know, you've heard me all talk about sports quite a bit. So let me tell you a story. Um, you've heard me talk about sports quite a bit. In third grade, I was on my first ever basketball team as a kid. And I obviously really enjoyed it. It was great. And I was nervous before the game. I'll never forget my first game ever. Okay. My first basketball game ever. I was in third grade and our team was losing like 4-0, 6-0, or whatever. And I was like, we gotta score. Okay, we gotta get on the board. All right. And one of my teammates passed the ball to me in the corner. Okay. Passed the ball to me in the corner. I caught the ball. And I was like, I'm putting this ball up. And like, what can I do? So I pump faked, dribbled, and I shot the ball. Nothing but net. I scored 2-6. All right, we're on the board. We ended up winning the game. Okay, and I maybe scored maybe one other basket after that. Who knows? Okay, but I scored the first points of the game. Okay, and super exciting. Now reflected on that because I thought it was a cool moment. Right, I was so excited that I scored in the game, and I was super pumped about it. All right, I reflected on that because not too long after that, I was in school and we had to get ready for some presentations. All right. Well, I think this had been might have been even a couple years later, something along, but not too long later after that, though. We had to do some presentations in school, and I was shook. I was very nervous about it, and I was like, "How am I going to prepare for this presentation? What am I going to do? How am I going to get ready? How am I going to speak for 5 to 10 minutes in front of the class? That's crazy." So then I started thinking to myself. I said, "Well, if I can play basketball in front of people, well, then why can't I just talk in front of people?" Well, I guess the answer is that we had several practices before the game, right? So I was able to practice to make me feel a bit more comfortable, not lose my nervousness, but the practices made me more comfortable to be able to kind of problem solve through my anxieties there, right? Once again, yes, I am Tariq Williams, your problem solving coach. We are visionofhope.com. Check out the Own Your Path quiz so we can really find out what is actually stopping you from becoming you and get the advice connected to the quiz. Besides the point, nevertheless, I was able to start putting that together. The coach would always say practice makes perfect. People don't like that phrase, fine. And I more or less subscribe to practice makes progress. We're getting better every day. Every single day, we're getting better. So, thinking about the basketball practices, thinking about the game is what made me think about okay, preparation, practice, that's just what I have to do. Just transfer that to somewhere else. Transferring that skill, transferability of skills to really help me be successful in this presentation. But this might surprise you a little bit. That actually isn't the full story that helped me overcome my fear of speaking. See, what you have to understand is that it's okay to reflect on your life, learn from different situations. And, when we're young, we don't necessarily realize how certain things shape the person who we are, however, comma, they do. You're going to have different situations in your life that truly shape the person that you are, and you might not even know exactly what those situations might be. See, in seventh grade, it was either fourth or seventh grade. I didn't want to do too much thinking about this. I just wanted to come up here authentically and share the story with you all. Um, we had presentations again, and I was working through that, but that's not necessarily the moral of the story here. I used to like to sing. Catch me at your local karaoke spot, all right? He's like to sing. So I was in the chorus really a lot in elementary school, and I really enjoyed it. It was a great time. Do the things you enjoy. Side advice. Do the things you enjoy. I bring this up because one weekend, during the school year, we went and like I said, I couldn't have been more than like 10, 11, 12 years old. Um, one time during the school year, we went to over the weekend, we had to go to New Jersey from Pennsylvania because that's where my grandparents lived and my dad's parents. But my grandmother wasn't doing well. She was sick. And so we went to go visit her in the hospital. And I don't know why, but I was very shy. And my grandmother really enjoyed music, had a piano, and just did things in the music industry, loved music. And so while we were at the hospital, we talked a little bit about the chorus and my singing. And I remember my family saying, Tariq, sing to your grandmother, so you could sing. And I couldn't tell you why, but I felt so shy and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Um, I'm reflecting on this moment because in my head I was like, maybe I'll do it next time. The problem is, whenever that next time was going to be, unfortunately, it didn't happen. because I lost my grandmother in the process there. Unfortunately, she didn't make it too much longer after battling her sickness. And so I think about that moment off and on. I reflect on it. I think about the person who I was then, not saying that I'm different, more mature, I was like what, 10, 11, 12 years old then, and now I'm basically triple that or so. Besides the point, nevertheless, I think about that moment because I don't want to miss my opportunities anymore. I have something to say to the world. I don't want to miss those opportunities because just being real, we're not promised tomorrow. None of us are. Not only that, we just don't know what next looks like. There are unknowns no matter what. But what I want you all to understand is that, how I got over my fear of public speaking was because I knew that I had something to say. I knew that I had to step into my power and speak up, step into my power and be the person who I am to express myself. I have stories to share with the world. I have advice to share with the world. I want to connect with more people. I want to live through my passion of empowerment. So how did I overcome my fear? Is because I recognized that I was worth overcoming that. I recognized that I needed to step into my power because the person stopping me was me in that situation. And then there wasn't a next time. I lost my opportunity. And so when I reflect on that moment, I decide this, that I'm not missing out on my opportunities. I'm stepping into my power as often as I can, as much as I can, with my best effort, because practice makes progress. So when I move forward, nobody can take these situations away from me. Nobody can take away the fact that I'm giving my all when I'm on stage. No one can take away the fact that I'm giving my all when I'm on the Speak Your Vision podcast. No one can take away from me when I'm connecting with someone and being able to empower them. But what this truly is just being able to empower others to realize more of themselves. This is more of a self-worth conversation more than anything. And then on top of self-worth, we're talking about stepping into your power, stepping into every opportunity. What is opportunity? Opportunity is every moment that we have. So I'm not saying that you're not going to be fearful sometimes. I'm not saying you're not going to be like the shy Tariq. I'm not saying that there won't be moments where you feel like you have no power at all. Mindset, health, authenticity. Step into your power. That's how I overcame my fear of public speaking. I had that moment and I wasn't going to let that ever happen ever again. You have a responsibility to share your gift with the world because there's someone out there that needs to hear it. I don't know how, I don't know who, I don't know when, but I can tell you for a fact they're 100% there. So be ready when they need you. I've never shared that story before, but it's very powerful to me. And I know that we all have stories like this in different shapes and different sizes. Whatever that looks like. So I'm telling you today, step into your power, step into your opportunities, your mindset, your health, your authentic self. Because the world needs you to step into your power. Let's get it. Thank you all so much for listening to the Speak Your Vision podcast. Check out the Prioritize You workbook. Check out the Unveil Your Path quiz. And let's go make it happen. And not only I am Vision of Hope, but this is the we thing. We are all stepping into our power. We are Vision of Hope.